All right, guys, welcome back. I told you it was coming back with the recap. And guess what? It was everything that we thought it was going to be. The finale is here. It's done. You can rest. We have everything set and edged in stone. Boy, oh boy. What an ending to week 18 of the NFL season. We already got a coach that has been fired, a GM that's been fired. I mean, hey, what else do you think could happen? Who else do you think is going to be on the list? Because Black Monday is here. It's Monday for me in Central Time, so it's Monday. Raheem Morris, Terry Fontenot, the GM for Atlanta, despite winning and beating Saints, their rivals, have parted ways. Yep, yep. Those guys are unemployed. And then I heard Stefanski, Kevin Stefanski's name being floated around out there. So I guess the Browns will be parting ways with theirs. I wonder about Mike McDaniel, Mike McDonald, whatever, Miami. But the Steelers, they escape the Ravens tonight. They hold on by 2 points. They escape, and I just don't believe that this game actually came down to a Calvin Austin touchdown and then a Lamar Jackson to Isaiah Likely to get in the field goal range and then to kick a chip shot field goal for the win. And we've all seen it the whole year. We're going to run it down to probably the last few seconds, take a timeout, send out the field goal unit. That way, Pittsburgh has no time. But the kick goes up and it goes wide right. Miss. Game over. Pittsburgh will be advancing and hosting the Texans in their playoff match. That's that. That's going to be oh god, that's going to be a funny game right there because I mean this could be the one and dones. After the list came out of games, I was like, oh my goodness. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, and a lot of teams, well, let's just say they're not going to be there. Um, we do have a few notes to go over here, so let's get to the notes, guys. Y'all ready for it? Hold on, y'all ready for this? Dum, 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 dum. Hold up. Let me pull these things up. Here we go. Please do me a favor, like, follow, and sub up to the channel. I almost thought we lost the channel tonight, but we've got it. I almost thought we lost it, but thank God we didn't. Not bucking with the NFL no more. Not playing with them. I respect them. But guys, we made it to the end of the 2025 season. And when I tell you excitement, chaos, crowns, and capstones. Here we are. Seahawks, they ruled the West. Yes, in Saturday's games, we did have games that kicked off Saturday. We had the Panthers and the Bucks. That was a rainy game. That game will come down to Atlanta and New Orleans, two rivals that don't like each other, essentially helping two other rivals that don't like each other figure out their situation. So the Falcons win, Carolina will get in. If the Saints win, Tampa will get in. And to me, I thought that Shuck and the Saints would probably have they would have a game. Unfortunately, nah, it didn't. It didn't. So the Panthers Just like the Seahawks, who rule the West, the Panthers are back on top. Despite a Saturday loss, the Panthers were crowned NFC South champions on Sunday, thanks to the Falcons' win over the Saints. Now, it cost Raheem Morris his job. I'm just saying, he's without a job of a coach, and they were on a 4-game win streak. I think, if I read that correctly, I did post it in our shorts, guys, so you can check that out. Um, the Seattle game, it took down the Niners to clinch the NFC West and that coveted number one NFC seed. And congratulations, Sam Darnold, again, consecutive 14 win seasons. He did it with the Vikings, and then he had that we all know. Then this year he did it with Seattle. It's like, whoa, this guy's he's kind of clutch. Just like when we started off, the Steelers survival. The final game of the regular season, Pittsburgh took down Baltimore in a primetime slugfest. Slug, like a slug that's creeping along. That's what I call a slugfest. To win the AFC North and punch their final ticket into the dance. So they get in, but I don't know if they want to dance with their partner. I don't know if they want to dance with their partner. So we can strike up this note. The end of an era. The Chiefs, they missed the playoff for the first time in 11 years, falling to the Raiders on a last second 60-yard field goal. I was trying to wonder how how did they lose? Because I was covering my game, the blowout that happened to the Dolphins with the Patriots. And then I look and say, oh, wow, the Raiders, who has secured the number one draft pick, the number one overall coveted spot, they beat the Chiefs. After a couple of my fellow Raider fans and friends, they was like, we want to lose. And I was like, no, I don't think y'all, you know, but they wanted to lose. They did. And I understand they was trying to tank as hard as possible to make sure they ensure that they get the number one seed. But the Chiefs, it's the end of an era. I was thinking earlier when I looked at the score, I was like, dang, that's kind of reminding me how New England went through the transition. We had the wins, the rings, and then the fall off, but it wasn't dead. And that's what I'm looking at. The Chiefs are not dead. They got Patrick Mahomes. They have weapons. They got to redo a lot of pieces on defense and get some more added pieces. But the Chiefs are not dead, folks. They're not, and it can happen to anybody. NFL, not for long. Remember those three letters. NFL, not for long, folks. So, although it may say end of an era, they've missed the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. This is not the end for KC. I mean, now we got to see what Travis Kelce is going to do, but let's go scores, highlights. Broncos versus the Chargers. Now, this was for number one seed overall, and the Chargers decided to sit everybody on their roster. Hmm. And the Broncos, they pull off a 19-3 win, securing the number one seed and the bye week. So they can rest, they can get Pugh back healthy, and they can watch everybody fight it out on wild card weekend. Bo Nix and the Broncos defense secured that number one seed in the AFC. I, as a Patriot fan, wanted the Chargers to put up a fight. Well, they didn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. I'm still, what the hell did you do? What were you doing? because you didn't do anything. Period. You got blowed down by the Broncos after beating them. I mean, the Chargers started out really good in the beginning. Beat the Chiefs, beat the Broncos, beat the Raiders. Was going on a little stretch there. And then injury struck. Lineman went down. Herbert was getting beat up. It was just, they took a little moment. But they still were one of those teams that were in there, but never out of there. They're in the playoffs. And guess who they have to come and see? They have to come to Foxborough Sunday. And I'm going to be streaming that game, making sure that the Chargers know how uncomfortable we're going to make them. I personally know that, guess what? You got beat 19-3. I know Trey Lance, he didn't do a good job, but you're playing the Patriots, bro. It's different. And we done made it uncomfortable in Foxborough for a lot of people. Now on to the next one. Patriots versus the Dolphins. Now this was the number 2 seed. Drake May dominates New England. We clinched the number 2 seed, and we will be taking on the Chargers. After a 38-10 beatdown of the Dolphins, who started Quinn Ewers, Ben Ewers, however you want to call him or whatever. Good job. Then we even had a sign of Zach Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. They brought in Zach Wilson. Yes, they put Zach Wilson in. You know what? You say? Now, I know they came in banged up. I know they came in limping. I know they came in just like, let's just end the season now and let's just start all over, please, because this has not been our year, and it's probably a personal hell right now for Mike down there. But the Dolphins did not show up, and there's going to be some questions because they already fired their GM. So now we're trying to see on Black Monday, do they get rid of their head coach? Do they cut ties with Tua? Do they have to eat that cap money? Because to be in the position that the Dolphins are in, to have hopes and playoff dreams, but only to achieve, oh my goodness, another dismal, pathetic year where you're wondering, did we really pay this guy all this money for us to suck? Yes, you did. Sorry to tell you this, but division rivals, I don't like you people. So my Patriots, they clinched the number 2 seed, folks. Congratulations to us. We will be taking on the Chargers, the LA Chargers. And yes, I plan on making sure that we shout loud enough to where we can disrupt those boats. Then we had the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, guys, went off today, and I know they beat the Titans, Tennessee Titans. It was a 41-7 bludgeon. It was a take an axe and start hacking up some shit because Jacksonville blows out Tennessee to win the AFC South. Now, Houston was in the running for it. They were. But Jacksonville, trust me, they finally got it together. Honestly, Trevor Lawrence looked good these last few weeks. They went on the road. They upset the Broncos at home, the number 1 seed. With this win, they're in the number 1 and number 3 seed, and they have to host the Buffalo Bills. And they actually have a run defense that should hinder the Bills' ability to run the ball with Cook. So we got to see, because the Jags and the Bills will be facing off Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. And that's going to be interesting because this is the Jags, second time in the postseason, I think. They last time they were in there, they lost to the Chiefs, and they fought to get back in it that time. But today they beat up on the lonely Titans. Just beat up on them guys. Just took it to a whole different extreme. Then we had the Houston Texans, who almost let Riley Leonard and the Colts pull off an upset. Now the Texans are in the postseason. They're going. However, it was a 38-30 because they want to play hot potato ball at the end. The Colts trying to do something to get the win. And Houston secures their wild card spot ending Indy's season. Bad enough they were already eliminated for the postseason after starting so good. Listen, they were one of those teams where we were saying, oh, the Colts may be going to the Super Bowl. I mean, Daniel Jones was reinvented himself as a Colt. They got some decent pieces during trade deadline time. They had a chemistry and they had they had the freaking mojo, man. They had it going on. They were ready and looking like they were going to take the division. And then out the freaking blue, folks, here comes Jacksonville. Here comes the Texans. And oh my goodness. We look up and we're like, did this just happen? Yes, it did. Steelers and Ravens. We closed out the night with what most people would say was shite, but some would say it's clutch. Some would say it's a vintage throwback game for Rodgers. I'm gonna just tell you, it was boring in points. It had its highs, it had its lows. It came down to the wire. It was gonna come down to who had the ball last, but most importantly, whose kicker was going to actually make a field goal. Because Pittsburgh scored with an Austin touchdown after the defender slipped. And Aaron Rodgers seeing that and hurry up and threw it and got the touchdown with Austin. And it was like, okay. Now, they have plenty of time on the clock. Baltimore had all three timeouts. They get down the field. And it was kind of crazy because they missed the extra point kick. And it was like, ooh, it's just a 2-point game. But Baltimore, right before the kick, they were like, they went around the country and found them a kicker. And it was Loop, Tyler Loop, who misses a 44-yard field goal attempt. And that cost them the game. A 44-yard field goal attempt. And the Steelers advanced on to the playoffs. That was the oh God, what happened moment. After watching that game and then seeing the outcome of that game, you're like, the Steelers are not going to be like, I don't think they're going to. Then they play the Texans. I don't. Aaron Rodgers is already in trouble thinking about this game because guess what? Ravens were actually able to get to him. Now Lamar and that offense did have trouble. I know Derrick Henry was over 100 yards rushing. However, it was Mr. Rogers with these these whole both defenses got caught sleep. The one that made the one that cost Baltimore the game was the defender slip. He slipped, and Austin went right by him, wide open in the end zone, touchdown. That that would if he doesn't slip, that's a different game. Maybe we are talking about Baltimore in the Texans. Maybe it's a different setup. Who knows? But either way it goes, there is no Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens. There is no Joe Burrow. There is no Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs. There, Joe Burrow. I said Joe Burrow. There's no Tua. Um, who else did they pick that was supposed to be advancing and be in the postseason? There's a lot of teams they said that was favorites. All right, and then we had the Bills and the Jets. Now, Josh Allen came in, did one thing, and after that, it was Trubisky. Trubisky, you're in. And he came in, and the Jets, well, the Jets are the Jets. Luckily, you just hired Aaron Glenn, and it does say something because the Jets need a whole lot. He took Justin Fields, it didn't work. Um, he tried to revitalize Tyrod Taylor, and that didn't work. And then you tried it out with the rookie Brady Cook. New, that just dismal. So the Jets have to a whole lot of off-season time to think about what the hell are we going to do, because 35-8, and I know they're getting tired of getting beat up by Bills, Patriots, even the Dolphins handed them a couple. They lost to the Saints. Shuck and the Saints did them dirty. Ray Davis rushes for 174 yards as Buffalo cruises into the number 6 seed, who will be heading to play Jacksonville. So 174 rushing yards on the ground, and the Bills, they come through clutch rushing wise, but now you have to face a Jaguars team who can stifle your run game, which is going to be interesting. This is going to be because can the Bills move on past the Jags? That's what's going to be interesting, folks, about that. So that's the AFC battles right there. Now the NFC gets it's not too sloppy, not too messy, but it's just what the it did. Watch Seahawks and 49ers. I told you that was a Saturday game where Seattle takes care of the NFC South number 1. So we just leave them sitting on the shelf right now. Don't worry about them. San Francisco would drop to the number 6 seed. The Lions and Bears. Lions. I had a comment tonight on one of our shorts, guys. Thank you for the comments, all y'all. We do check our comments. We do comment back. But the Lions, somebody said, where was this Lions? Well, that's the same question I had, because when they were gambling, we thought that they were going to actually do something. But now that they have nothing to play for, they pull off a 1916 upset in Soldier Field. Jake Bates hits the 42-yarder at the horn, and that keeps Chicago at number 2 seed. And look, this is the reason why they're the number 2 seed and not number 3, because the Commanders, yes, the Washington Commanders, folks, they beat the Eagles. Philly rests their starters and loses the number 2 seed to Chicago. Yeah, that is exactly how 1 and 2. It could have been Eagles, or it could have been, but the Bears. A late effort by Caleb and the Bears gets them to tie it up, but I think it was a kick out of bounds that just, oh god, special teams kind of ruined it for a couple teams today. That set up good field position for the Lions. The Lions, who did not need, seems like the Lions didn't need help today, and they went down the field, set up a 42-yarder, and guess what? They ink it out. 3-point win. Like, what the just happened? The Commanders, Josh Johnson, guys, the third string. This guy runs one in for the 24-17. Pretty much shut the door. Boom. And the backup for Hurts, I think y'all might need to get somebody else because that guy did not look like he can pull you out of trouble. The last play did not look like he could. And the Commanders defense, who decided to show up tonight, they did. Well, today played a real good part in that one. So Philly falls, and they will be the number 3 seed. The Falcons and Saints. The only reason why they're here is because they were the helper to decide the NFC South Division title, which I understand is ludicrous because neither of these teams are like each other. There's a real hatred in this division for these teams. Guys, Saints would have won, Tampa would have get in. And Tampa beat Carolina in Tampa in the rain. So Carolina, despite a loss, still gets in. Crazy. We have an 8-9 team, a 8-9 three-way tie in this division, and a fired head coach already. Yes, they fired their head coach Raheem Morris. After firing Raheem Morris, they fired Terry Fontenot as well, the GM. They said, both of y'all, clear out your office, clear out your desk. See, you have a good life. Bye. It's done. Rams and the Cards. Now, this would be a vintage Matthew Stafford. I'm not going to give up, and he did not. Matthew Stafford throws 4 tutties to vault the Rams to the number 5 seed. 37-20 was the final score in that one, and he took care of business. He did. The 49ers were trying to cheer for the Cardinals, hoping that they could get that 5th seed, but unfortunately, they get the 6th seed. So they'll be traveling while the Rams will be rematching Carolina. Now, this could be a good game for Carolina because think about it. They lost to Carolina in a shocker. And we all were still scratching our head like, how the fuck did that just happen? But it happened. It happened. And whoa, I mean, damn. All right. So the Atlanta win gives the division to the Carolina Panthers. Matthew Stafford throws 4 touchdowns, and the Rams have the number 5 seed. Now the Vikings and Packers. I understand another team who rested their starters today. Listen, I hope next year some teams do not take advantage of resting starters because really, why are we doing this? I kind of think you should want to have momentum going into the postseason and getting your guys out there, working out, throwing, taking the hits, playing. Because when you get in the postseason and by them coming in, they might be a little rusty. They might get hit and it could be the end, and then you're stuck, you know. But hey, whatever gives you the best opportunity. Vikings and Packers. 16-3. I, 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 this is when I got up today. My favorite streamer, Mr. Tom Grassi. Tom Grassi, shout out to him. Tom Grassi Comedy. Make sure y'all go check him out. Help my boy get to his 1,000,000 subs if y'all out there. But he's a Packers content creator. And I was wondering why he was so joyful and jolly because they were 3 points. 3 points, guys. Minnesota ends on a high note. Green Bay stays at number 7. So they get a rematch with the Bears. But this is the third time they play the Bears. Yes, they get the third trip around the sun. They get to try to knock off the Bears. This should be interesting because now Minnesota, well, to come from a 14-2 Sam Darnold led team to eliminated and oh damn, wow, that's crazy. A year of change. Wow. But to watch Sam Darnold take another team to the number 1 seed, possibly even close enough to get to a Super Bowl, is even more. Oh, maybe we should have kept him because I understand 9 is good, but come on, guys, you know. Now, Packers, they are the number 7 seed, and like I said, it's going to be interesting. So our playoff scenarios are locked in with the regular season in the rear view. We can all say goodbye to the 2025 NFL season and get ready for Super Wild Card Weekend. The matchups are set. AFC bracket, Denver has the bye and home field advantage. New England will face the LA Chargers. Jacksonville will take on the Buffalo Bills. The Pittsburgh Steelers will have the Houston Texans. Mm-mm. On the NFC side of things, Seattle will have the bye and home field advantage, while Chicago and Green Bay will battle again for the third time this season, and Philadelphia will have the 49ers, and then Carolina will rematch the Rams again. But, but, this is going to be a hell of a weekend. A hell of a weekend. Listen, Patriots, Chargers, Jags, Bills, Steelers, Texans, Seahawks, and Broncos are going to be watching the TV. Bears, Packers, Eagles, Niners, and Panthers, Rams. This is not made up, folks. This is not. Now, the Blitz takeaways, guys. The stat of the week. Atlanta defense set a franchise record with 57 sacks this season after a dominant performance against the Saints. However, they're eliminated. They fired the coach. They fired the GM. They want a reset. The defense did come alive. They had hopes. Hell, they were picked to do battle in the division after Tampa decided to have a meltdown somewhere in the middle of the season. Well, you have to look at well, damn, Atlanta could have probably did a little more than what they did, but damn, 57 sacks this season and a good performance. Well, here they go. So our biggest story heading into the postseason is the NFC West dominance. With 3 teams from the division, Seahawks, Rams, and Niners making the dance, the road to the Super Bowl likely goes through the Pacific Northwest. Meanwhile, in the AFC, the Broncos and Patriots look like a revitalized juggernauts, while the Chiefs enter an off-season of massive questions for the first time in a decade. Read it again for you. Our biggest story heading into the postseason is the NFC West dominance. Three teams from that division, guys: Seahawks, Rams, and Niners. They're making the dance. The road to the Super Bowl likely may go through the Pacific Northwest. Meanwhile, over there in the AFC, the Broncos and the Patriots look like they revitalized juggernauts, while the Chiefs enter an off season of massive questions for the first time in a decade. Yes, we're gonna have questions. It's all off season about what happened and what are they gonna do and who's gonna be there. Now, injury report the postseason costs. Now, by the injuries, the biggest concerns for playoff bound teams the status of their blue chip players. Several contenders are limping into this wild card round. Trent Williams, offensive tackle for the 49ers, Hall of Fame tackle, missed the Week 18 showdown against the Seahawks with a hamstring. His absence was felt as the Seahawks pass rush pressured Brock Purdy late. His status for the wild card game against Philly is the number one story in the Bay Area, and that's going to be trouble for them as they travel. Now, George Kittle and the Niners struggled with. Now he has struggled with an ankle injury all week and was limited in the finale. He's expected to play through it, but explosiveness is the question mark. Now we need. Now, it would have been nice if they could have got the bye week to rest up because they need it. Now Chicago, Rome O'Dooms, he still was sidelined. He missed his sixth straight game with a foot injury. Chicago has been ultra cautious, hoping to have the rookie star back for the rival game against Green Bay. So they're hoping that they get him back this week as they get ready for the Packers. And my Patriots, guys, we have Harold Landry, the linebacker. Him, Robert Spillane, guys, are ruled out with a knee injury in Week 18. New England needs his edge rushing presence to rattle Justin Abear this week. So definitely, we got some problems on defense side, like Spillane, Landry. We got to make sure our secondary is good, and we should be getting Williams and Campbell back for the line. So, because that's even though the Chargers did not do good today, they still have a decent defense. And for the postseason, I expect them to bring their A game, and I don't see them doing anything other than that. But here it is. Kyron Williams, running back for the Rams, he battled with an ankle injury during the Cardinals game. While he did finish the game, the Rams will be monitoring his recovery closely before facing the Panthers' physical front. So the Rams, Kyron Williams, definitely they want to get him back healthy, especially dealing with an ankle injury because that Panthers front, yes, even though Bucky Irvin did cut up through that front, Kyron Williams has an ankle injury. And I don't know, the Rams, they got Blake Corum. It's just going to be interesting to see how that's going to take off. Now the resting list, healthy scratches, Nico Collins of the Texans. Now these stars right here were held out because of new injuries, but ensure they survive the week. So Nico Collins of the Texans, they rested him up so they can prepare for this matchup this week. Justin Abear and the Chargers, he sat out with that minor hand injury, so you know they're gonna keep him out. Jalen Daniels for the Commanders eliminated, and they shut down their franchise quarterback due to that elbow to prevent further damage. They should have been let him sit. I ain't gonna lie, he shouldn't even try to come back just because it wasn't in to come back for. But I understand. But Justin better just get ready for next week because we got something for y'all. But I tell you, the Chargers could have did better today, but they just we're in the playoffs, so we're just gonna rest starters and just play. Okay, so don't worry. Come to New England, we got something for you. Week 18 storylines, the drama, and the destiny. Aaron Rodgers to the rescue. The era in Pittsburgh, guys. Look, eh, okay. I'm gonna just keep it. In a move that felt like a fever dream, Aaron Rodgers, who spent the season in a backup mentor role for the Steelers, helped guide Pittsburgh through a brutal December. The Steelers clinching the AFC North on Sunday Night Football over the Ravens solidified that this defense first team is a nobody wants to play them wild card team. I don't think that they're that way, but they have a potential. They playing the Texans, and they rushed up their starters. They got a defense that's going to disrupt the hell out of the Steelers' offense. What offense they get now? They will probably be getting back DK Metcalf, and that's going to make a difference. But I don't think that I don't count the Steelers as making a run, considering they're playing the Texans. The end of the Chiefs dynasty. Now, what are we talking about? For the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, Kansas City will not be in the postseason after a season plagued by receiver drops and uncharacteristic turnovers. Their Week 18 loss to the Raiders felt like a closing of a chapter. Mahomes watching the playoffs from home is the biggest shock of the 2025 season. Not really. They were done. They did not look like the team that made the Super Bowl last year. So why would it be a shock? It happens. Burrow missing the playoffs. Minnesota, Detroit, Atlanta, now Baltimore. Teams that were picked to be there are now out of there. All right, NFC West is a meat grinder. Okay, you gonna have a 49ers and Eagles rematch in the wild card. These two have bad blood. And the Niners falling to the sixth seed, they have to go to the Link, a place they know all too well. This weekend is gonna see some crazy play. I'm just saying it's gonna be upset central this weekend. It's gonna be chaos. When I started this, it was chaos, competition, and caps. I'm calling cap on a lot of these people because man, the Niners might be a cap team. The Eagles, they're at home. They're in the postseason. I think a lot of what the Eagles' whole thing is, just let's get to the postseason. And when they get there, well, they'll be hell to deal with. And now you have to play the Niners, who's coming in limping, coming in banged up. Ricky Parasol was injured. No Brandon Ayuk. George Kittle with the ankle, Trent Williams with the hamstring. You got a banged up Niners team. No Fred Williams, no Bosa. Bosa may be back. But however, we want to see how this whole week goes with the 49ers because guess what? It's going to be crazy to go up there to Eagles to play the Eagles after fighting for the number one seed and getting exposed. This is this is going to be good. Okay. So the Ute moment in the AFC. The AFC bracket is going to showcase the new God. Bo Nix has the Broncos at the number 1 seed. Drake May has the Patriots at the number 2 seed. Trevor Lawrence has the Jags at the number 3 seed. The old guard Mahomes, Allen, Burrow has either been eliminated or pushed to the lower seed, signaling a massive power shift in the conference. You heard me right. Bo Nix, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence have ascended to the top three, while Mahomes, Allen, Burrow are either eliminated, pushed to the lower seed, signaling a massive power shift in the AFC conference. I'm just waiting to see how my boy fares going up against Justin Herbert and those Chargers, because this is going to be fun. I can't wait. We haven't been in the postseason. Oh my goodness, it's been a long time. We had a 4-13 under Bill, 4-13 under Gerard Mayo, and now a 14-3 win season, guys. We're back. We're back, and here comes our first test, the Chargers. All right. Um, Now let's talk about this rivalry before we get up out of here. We got official NFL's oldest and most bitter rivalry is headed right to our TV screens. The two regular season meetings, right? The Bears will host the Packers this Saturday night at Soldier Field. So we've seen them twice already. We're going to see them a third time, and it's going to be live Saturday night from Soldier Field. Number 2 Chicago Bears versus the number 7 Green Bay Packers. Now I want you to know this isn't just another game. It is the first time these two have met in a postseason since the 2010 NFC Championship game. What? So this is going to be a test for the Packers and definitely a test for Chicago. Chicago coming off of that 3-point loss to the Lions. Chicago coming off a loss to San Francisco after being labeled the team that can win 6 games in under 2 minutes. They damn near had us all today believing, but nope. Detroit said, "Hold my beer, sir. Hold it. Hold on." So one of the oldest and most bitter rivalries we get to see this weekend, Saturday night. All right. Now, round 1, week 14, the Packers took care of business at Lambeau, winning 28-21. Jordan Love was surgical, throwing for 234, 3 touchdowns, while Green Bay defense kept Caleb Williams under wraps for most of the afternoon. Now, round 2, which was week 16, the Bears got their revenge in a 22-16 overtime thriller at Soldier Field. Caleb Williams broke the Bears' single-season passing record during the stretch, leading a desperate comeback fueled by an onside kick recovery and a walk-off TD. That's why we was all like, well, the Bears have gotten so much better, but we can't really hold nothing against them. It's their first year. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is their first year, and I know that sometimes, you might get this one time, but hell, they've done what nobody expected them to do anyway. Now, the biggest question mark in Green Bay is Jordan Love. He was knocked out in Week 16, lost to Chicago with a concussion and a shoulder injury. While he is cleared protocol, late last week, the Packers opted to start Clayton Tune in the finale to ensure Love is 100% for this Saturday. On the other side, Caleb Williams is playing the best football of his young career, having just eclipsed Eric Kramer's 30-year-old franchise passing record, finishing with 39, 42, 3,942 passing yards. So the Bears still doesn't have a 4,000, almost a 4,000 yard passing passer. Almost. They almost got one. Almost. But almost is not there. Ben Johnson versus the ownership. Bears head coach Ben Johnson has brought a swagger to Chicago that hasn't been seen in decades. He's famously told reporters he enjoys beating Matt LaFleur, and after years of Aaron Rodgers claiming he owned the Bears, Chicago fans are desperate to see Williams and Johnson officially hand the deed back to Green Bay. So they're looking to upset them, especially being that they're playing in Soldier Field Saturday. They can do this Saturday. They can finally exercise their demons after splitting the series 1-1. They can actually go and do something Saturday that, guess what? A lot of fans want. Ben Johnson and ownership are looking to send the Packers packing Saturday. Now, the Packers have, let me see, treated Soldier Field like a second home for the last decade, but the vibe has shifted. The Bears are 11-6 NFC North champions and secured the number 2 seed despite a narrow Week 18 loss. The atmosphere in Chicago for a 7 p.m. Saturday night kickoff will be nothing short of volcanic. So, guys, they're the champions of the North. That in 1 year, they've done unthinkable things. They've come back and they've won the North. They did it. They won the NFC North. Now they have to solidify that with a playoff win. So matchups to watch for trench warfare. We got Montez Sweat versus Zach Thomas, Jaden Reed versus Calvin Byard, and Caleb Williams versus Jeff Hardy's Blitz. That's going to be interesting because now, it's going to be kind of rough. Now, the third time's the charm stat. This is the only third playoff meeting in 105-year history of the rivalry. 1941, 2010, Packers won. 2026, the winner moves on to the divisional round. Loser goes home. This is going to be interesting because now they get a chance to exercise their demons. They get a chance to. All right, guys. This is our. This is it. This is the recap. This is what happened over the weekend, guys. I mean, look, we had we had beautiful games today. I'm telling you right now. Let's go, Kieran. Let's see what do we got. Miles Garrett, he set the NFL sack records today. Congratulations to him. 23 sacks. Miles Garrett, he did it. Cracked the record. And I'm quite sure he got incentivized and everything else. It was a good finale. It was a very good finale, folks, today. We had a very good finale for this very, very good finale for the week. Now, if I may say so, we can look forward to this week's action because guess what? Chaos, Crowns, and Capstones. That's the title of this episode, guys. I want you to make sure you log that in and hit that like button, that follow and sub up to the channel button, guys. We're here for the week. We're here for the week, and we're going to have all our streams for the games this week. And oh baby. Chargers, y'all in trouble. Yes, they're in trouble. I'm telling you now. I mean, they could have did better than what they did today. But to get blowed out, let me pull it. Wait, where is it? To get blowed out, 19-3. What would you do? I mean, come on. The rest of the starter stuff needs to stop. Kelsey, he said he'll decide his future. He gonna let us all know. I want to know. I want to know. But I think honestly, Travis Kelsey will be back next year. I think they're going to want to run it back next year. I don't see Travis hanging it up. I mean, come on. The guy brother regrets hanging it up, even though he wanted to hang it up. But you know, Travis, I think he wanted another ring before he hung it up, guys. Honestly, I think he wanted another ring before he hung it up, and that may just be what motivates him to come back, especially with Patrick coming back next year. We have to see. Um, well, coach. All right. So no firing of the Colts. There's a couple other people that may not be fired. Now the crazy part is I did tell you that um they got fired. The head coach for the Falcons and the GM, they were fired despite the finish. 4 games. They was on a win streak. And the Falcons just see ya, bye. And they got rid of them, fired them, clean house. And this is Black Monday officially. So we should be seeing more coaches about to get some acts. We're about to see. It's going to be interesting. I think that maybe. Hmm, Miami. I know one guy came in the comments and said he wanted to see the Bengals get rid of their coach, and I'm like, I don't think they're going to get rid of him. Zach is safe. Arizona might be on the verge of getting rid of theirs, despite the situation. They ain't Kyler Murray. So this is going to be a hell of a off season, plus a hell of a postseason because uh, you got Bo Nix and the Broncos taking care of business. Patriots and taking care of the Dolphins. Jags beating up on the Titans. Colts losing to the Texans. Steelers outlasting the Ravens. And the Bills just obliterating the Jets. And it's like, so that right there. And then NFC side, Seahawks beat the Niners. The Lions beat the Bears. Commanders upset the Eagles. Falcons beat the Saints. Then they decide to fire the coach afterwards. Then the Falcons, beat their rival Rams. They come back, beat the Cardinals, Vikings. They blow out the down Packers. And then we get our games that are set. So the AFC side of the bracket is the Broncos by New England will take on the Chargers, number 7, and Jacksonville will take on number 6, Buffalo. Pittsburgh will take on number 5, Houston. NFC side of things, you got Seattle on the bye with home field, and then you got Chicago taking on number 7, Green Bay. Then you got Philly taking on number 6, San Francisco. Carolina will be taking on number 5, Los Angeles Rams. Mm, mm. What a games! What some game, folks? What we got some games, guys. We got some games. I gave you the injury reports, right? Trent Williams for the Niners, hamstring injury. George Kittle, 49ers, he has an ankle injury. He's going to try to work through it. Rome Dunes for the Bears. He's missed 6 straight games with that foot injury. Harold Landry with the Patriots. He was ruled out with a knee injury in week 18. And then Kyron Williams with the Rams. He's battling an ankle injury. And they have to take on the Carolina Panthers. So right there, we're going to see how all this plays out, which is going to be interesting because golly gee willikers. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it, folks? All right. Hold up. No. Here we go. Let me pull up some head coach hot seats real quick before we get up out of here. All right. All right. As Black Monday is arriving, folks, NFL coaching carousel is spinning faster than a bow neck spiral. We've already seen some giants fall and several more are teetering on the edge after a wild 18 week 18 wild week 18. Here's the breakdown of the 2026 head coach hot seat. We got some head coach hot seat. Okay, these teams aren't waiting for the morning coffee to start their searches. All right, Raheem Morris of the Falcons in a shocker late Sunday night. Arthur Blank pulled the plug on Morris despite Atlanta finishing the season on a four-game win streak. The 8-9 finish wasn't enough to save him. The rumors are swirling that Matt Ryan might return to the franchise in a major front office capacity to help pick the next leader. What? So we seen Troy Aikman go to the Dolphins, and Dan Marino's down there as well, and he's going to be a consultant as well. So Matt Ryan coming back to consult is a bit of a shocker right there. Brian Daboll of the Giants fired back in November after a 2-8 start. Interim coach Mike Kafka has stabilized the ship, but the G-men are expected to cast a wide net for a permanent replacement. Brian Callahan for the Tennessee Titans. Now, Pete Carroll for the Raiders, likely gone today. Kevin Stefanski of the Browns, despite two coaches of the year trophies in his cabinet, the Deshaun Watson era has turned Cleveland into a pressure cooker. Insiders expect mutual parting of ways or an outright firing after the second consecutive season with 13 plus losses. All right, Pete Carroll, the Vegas experiment was a disaster at 74. Carroll is the league's oldest coach and a 2-15 finish as owner Mark Davis ready to hit the reset button again. Reports suggest Carroll may be retired rather than fired to save face. So ice cold seats likely gone today on Black Monday. We could see Pete Carroll for the Raiders, Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. Now, this is a time will tell 50-50 probability right here. John Harbaugh of the Raiders. This is the biggest name on the bubble after losing to the Steelers and missing the playoffs entirely. The Ravens are at the crossroad. Harbaugh is a legend in Baltimore, but 13 years without a Super Bowl appearance has the front office wondering if it's time for a fresh voice. Todd Bowles with the Buccaneers because the Bucks failed to win the NFC South, losing the tiebreaker to Carolina. Bowles is in trouble. Ownership is reportedly frustrated that the defense regressed despite significant investment. Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins. Miami missed the playoffs for the second straight year, while McDaniel is an offensive wizard. The firing of GM Chris Greer early this season suggests a total house cleaning could be coming to South Beach. So these are the 50-50 probabilities that we could see. We could see John Harbaugh of the Ravens. We could see Todd Bowles of the Buccaneers. We could also see Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins. After they got rid of their GM, why not just clean house? I'm just saying. You got Harbaugh, Bowles, and McDaniel. So 50-50 probability, but definitely we got, so let's count them down. We got our already out list. Three names: Morris, Daboll, Callahan. Three. You got two that could go. So that's Pete Carroll and Stefanski, which would be five. And then you got three 50-50s right here: Harbaugh, Bowles, and McDaniel. So that's eight seats right there, possibly. Safe for now is Aaron Glenn and Zach Taylor. This is, I want to tell y'all, if you listen and play back, guys, listen. Aaron Glenn of the Jets and Zach Taylor of the Bengals were thought to be in trouble, but recent reports from Adam Schefter and Jay Glazer indicate both will likely return in 2026. The Jets' defense improvement and the Bengals' loyalty to Taylor Burrow connection seem to have won out. So I don't see Glenn or Taylor being executed just yet. Then right now they're safe, but we have 8 potential seats up for grabs. Maybe. All right, now. All right, now the next big thing: candidates Ben Johnson, Brian Flores. Now, Brian Flores. Excuse me, not Ben Johnson. Brian Flores, Jeff Halfley of the Packers, the DC, and Chris Shula of the Rams, DC. These are some names that could be interviewing for jobs. Okay, all right. Yes, I want to know. Yes, give me that. Let's take a look at some of the potentials, right? So I'm saying we might have 8 seats. We got 3 right now that's open. We got 3 seats open right now: Atlanta, New York, and Tennessee. All right, and Pete Carroll is gonna be up for grabs. Cleveland job gonna be up for grabs. So that's 5 right there. So we should have 5 head coaching vacancies probably somewhere between now and tomorrow evening. We should see some head coaching roles, some change ups coming, guys. I'm just telling you. Wait. So the Raiders, they win the number 1 overall pick. They're looking at Brian Flores. A reunion with Brady and Flores could be a possibility. Mike LaFleur, the Rams OC. Jason Minter, the Chargers DC. Clint Kubiak, quarterback whisperer. And even a wild card, guys, John Gruden. So the Raiders could be eyeing 5 different little candidates that you possibly may see names pop up on the sheet somewhere. Okay, the Rams young gun, from the Sean McVay tree, Mike LaFleur, Mission Connection, the Brady favorite, his alma mater mentor. From the Chargers, Clint Kubiak, the quarterback whisperer who did the Sam Darnold in Seattle, and a wild card despite the legal battles. His name won't go away. Some insiders claim he's scratching and itching to return. Mark Davis has always had a soft spot for Chucky. I don't know about that one, but that could be a possibility. Arthur Blank to Boston Shuttle. Okay. Arthur Blank, Falcons, is reportedly enamored with the turnaround Mike Babel concentrated in New England while Babel is safe. Blank is checking to see if the massive coach trade in the front office shakeup could be similar personality. Cleveland to Detroit routes. Kevin Stefanski is likely out. The Browns are expected to target Ben Johnson. Yeah, right. Um, He's already done. Vance Joseph from the Broncos is getting heavy interest from the Raiders and Giants. His redemption arc under Sean Payne has made him the top veteran candidate of teams. Philip Rivers has emerged as a shocking name after a dramatic late season return to the field. So we got a second chance tour. So Vance Joseph is another name that can be popped up out there. Okay, and a dark horse storyline is a quiet rumor that Belichick currently is consulting media role has been frequently contact with John Harbaugh. If Harbaugh and the Ravens part ways, don't be surprised if a legacy team like the Giants or Bears tries one last run at the GOAT to stabilize a young roster. So they still throwing out Belichick name as trying to get him to come back to coaching. I don't think Belichick's gonna come back. He may. He's in the Hall of Fame talk this year. Him and Rob Kraft, but I don't think Bill. I mean, the Giants been trying to sneakily get Bill's name into the little. You know, I don't know. Vance Joseph though, he might got a chance. His second chance around, it could be Kevin Stefanski though. That's a name that we should keep an eye on because guys, I honestly don't know. And sheesh, I mean, you can look at a number of names that they have out there, but so far, like I said, we have. Let me see. We got the already out list, which I already gave you the names of people who's already out. Raheem Morris from the Falcons, Brian Daboll got cut by the Giants, and Callahan by the Titans. Then we have the ice cold, likely gone today names is Pete Carroll of the Raiders and Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. Definitely, most likely are gone today, folks. They might be out of their season has ended. They have ended. Their tenure has not produced the results that the ownership wants, and I'm quite sure. And then we have a 50-50 probability. Harbaugh with the Ravens, Bowles with the Bucks, and McDaniel with the Dolphins. It could be. Bowles and their defense did decline. I could see the Bucks after making investments in a team that were favored to win the division, were in first place in the division, fail to win the division, and lose it to the Carolina Panthers. And Todd Bowles could only have these viral moments on these pressers where he was just, what the fuck are we doing? I don't fucking know what we're doing. Um, Harbaugh, it's just been so long. It's just been so long, and you got Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. You got a star, talented roster, and they haven't won. They haven't been nowhere. And I'm talking, let me see. Harbaugh is a legend in Baltimore, but 13 years without the Super Bowl appearance has the front office wondering if it's time for a fresh voice. So 13 years has been for Harbaugh up there in Baltimore. And boy, what I tell you, it might be time for a change. Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins, they fired their GM, so it might be cleaning shop. Time to clean it up. Time to get rid of all the remnants. Even drop to it. Get him out of there. Try to recoup some of the money back. However, we can see, like I said, if there's three open spots, right? Atlanta, New York, Tennessee. That's three. Then you got Vegas and Cleveland. That's five. And then if you get the 50-50 probabilities with Ravens, Bucks, and Dolphins, that's eight. We normally Shefty be talking about it's like nine coaches, but eight, unless we're missing something right now, we looking at about eight head coaches that could potentially have eight teams that potentially could have new head coaches as we get ready for the postseason. Some teams need a new change. This is the end. This is the finale, folks. This is the Sunday Fun Day NFL Blitz. The finale, Week 18 came. We saw. We like, wow. And on your screen right now, you see it 26-24. And wow, it doesn't. It did not disappoint. Let's just say it like that. It did not disappoint. But So please do me a favor, hit that like button, that follow, sub up to the channel button if you don't mind. And remember, go Pats. We are here. Let's pull up the. Is it up here now? It should be up. All right, yeah, it's up here. All right, here it goes. This is the playoff bracket right here, guys. It's up there. There it goes. There it goes, folks. Goes our playoff bracket on the screen right now as we ready. You get your two teams at the top with the buys. Then you have Panthers and Rams, Steelers and Texans, Jags and Bills, Eagles and 49ers, Bears and Packers. Let me move me out the way. Hold on. Why can't I just move this over here? All right. Let me hit that back. Hold on. Did that bad. Wait, sorry. All right, there we go. Now, there it is. Okay, now move me out the way real quick, and let's see. There you go. Now you can see. And Bills Jags. Okay. So here's our playoff bracket, guys. Here it is. Here it is. We're getting ready for the action. I mean, I hope everybody's ready. I hope your team has the popcorn ready. Patriots and Chargers. We got the Sunday night game. They got the Saturday night game on Prime. We on NBC Peacock. They have CBS. So the Saturday game is the Rams and Panthers at 3, and then the Packers and Bears. And everybody else plays Sunday, and then Monday is Steelers and Texans. Why does the Steelers have Monday night? Anybody ever thought about it? They get all these Monday night games, and they're not that damn good. Can anybody help me out with this? I'm trying to figure out why they have all these damn Monday night games. You know what I'm saying? It don't even make sense, but whatever. So that's the playoff bracket right there, guys, and we're one step closer to some real action. Now I'm gonna say this: I don't know what to think about the Bills and the Jags. I really don't. Mm-mm-mm. I don't. That's gonna be a slugfest because Josh Allen should be. He's resting up. He didn't play today. He's resting up, man. And this is a test for the Jags because they're gonna have to try to take a page out of what the Texans did, Josh Allen that night when he played them. Because boy, it's gonna be a real slugfest. This one, I'm telling you now. You might as well get ready for it. Might as well get ready for it, guys. No doubt, no doubt. But that's how this cookie gonna crumble. So I'll give you the head coach. We went through the games. We went through the recap. We broke it down, and of course, you can think about Brian Flores, Jeff Hardy of the Packers, Chris Shula. That's the next head coach's names. That's kind of floating out there. Um, these two guys, again, I want to reiterate for my people out there who may listen to this on the recap. Aaron Glenn of the Jets and Zach Taylor of the Bengals, they are most likely safe. Okay, they're safe. Okay, both are thought to be in trouble, but recent reports from Schefter and Glazer indicate both will likely return in 2026. The Jets defense improvement and the Bengals loyalty to Taylor and Burrow connection seem to have one out. So I don't think that they're going anywhere. Like I said, they look like they're going to be safe. But you can bet this. Time will tell 50-50 the probability. John Harbaugh, Todd Bowles, and Mike McDaniel may be on the outs. Okay, they may be saying bye-bye. Because today is Black Monday, folks, and already out today is Raheem Morris of the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, he's gone. Bid you a farewell adieu. Thank you for your service. Arthur Blank is also reported as going up to Boston to admire what Mike Vrabel has done and seeing, well, you know what? And then they're bringing in Matt Ryan as a consultant to oversee this new change. They also bringing in a new GM. The Dolphins fired their new GM and gave him a little spark. It wasn't enough spark to change anything up, but it's enough to save McDaniel to week 18. Now, tomorrow morning or a few hours from now, maybe 6 hours from now, because it's like 2:18 Central Time, my time, 3:18 Eastern, maybe in 3-4 hours, we should see who is up for the goodbye. You know what I mean? We should see who's gonna be out in the cold. I'm just saying it should be an interesting firing cycle this time because man, guys, Black Monday arrives and the NFL coaching carousel is about to spin faster than a Drake May spiral. I'm just saying. It's about to get real, 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 real. And I love it. I love it. We're here for it all, and we're growing over here in the channel, guys. Thank you all for helping us grow the channel. Please do like and follow up. We are also launching our Blitz recap show. It's another channel that we're going to be doing. I want you to please just look out for that. Like, follow, and sub up to that channel because we're trying to make sure we have a backup in case YouTube decides to get political like they did us earlier today and just they snatched the whole channel, guys. Listen to me. They snatched the whole channel in the middle of the game. I was I was sitting there wondering, like, wait a minute, where my whole channel go, brother? Channel just did like, I was like, oh wow, but yeah. So our playoff bracket is up, and our teams are set. Week 18 is done. The finale is here. We've made it through another NFL season, guys, and the chaos is only beginning. Black Monday is also here, and we should see what the coaching carousel looks like because, like I said, two of them definitely is about to be out of here. You know, they're real, real cold seats. Pete Carroll from Vegas, and of course, Kevin Stefanski from Cleveland. Just saying, you gotta keep an eye out for those guys. Um, who else? What else? What else? Anything 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 else? Something. That's pretty much it. So tomorrow we have to do our Black Monday countdown for coaches, firing, hirings, and who's doing what. We'll do our game by game, I guess, go through lineups and see what's going on. But tonight, thank you all for coming through. I appreciate you. Please do me a favor. Hit that like, hit that sub up button. Please follow the channel because we're growing and I ask you to do that. And remember, go Pats. We go. All right. Stay tuned, stay clutch. Deuce, we gone. It's been real. Oh, wait. One more thing, guys. One more thing. College CFP, the fourth. Thursday is Miami and Ole Miss. And then Friday is Indiana and Oregon. Okay. So just know we'll be having the CFP finales coming up this week as well. The college Blitz will be coming up this weekend. It's Oregon and Indiana, the rematch Friday night, and then Thursday is going to be Miami and Ole Miss. Okay, back against Chambliss, and of course the rematch between the Ducks and the Hoosier Daddies. It should be interesting. This CFP, trust me, we're in a chaos week all across the board, folks. It's straight chaos. All right. So with that being said, thank you again. It's been real, and I'll be here this week with the recap show, Patriot Blitz, the 365 Patriot Blitz. Turn your notifications on. We will be live this week. All week. You'll see us, hear us. Thank you all for tuning in, and please sub up to the channel. Help us grow. We're on our way. I'm just trying to get my subs up, get our time up, and if you don't mind, because we talk about sports. Sports. That's it. Real sports content. That's all we're trying to bring to the table. We that down. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So this is the 365 recap show. Thank you all for tuning in. Now wait. Before no, wait. I can't leave you just like I gotta go back over it. Just guys. All right, I gotta go back over it just because I don't want to turn you away just like that. Wait. So here we go. Back to the all right. Mm. Oh boy, we got some shit. Oh, we got some shit. We're gonna get to that though. I'm not gonna do it yet. There goes our playoff bracket again. Looking ahead, right there, looking ahead at it. I just want this one right here because I can't wait till we beat these people here. Oh yeah, they're gonna get it, boys and girls. They're going to get it. That's exactly right. They're gonna get it. I'm telling you now, they gotta get it. I don't want to do it. I'm not. I'm lying to you. They're gonna get it. All right. And so the Raiders, they get the first overall pick, of course. They wanted it. And the offseason guide for eliminating teams, key free agents, draft outlooks, and more. They're going to be keeping Shane Steichen. I'm quite sure they're going to sign him to some kind of deal. You could bet that. But let's take a look at this before we do get up out of here. I just can't just walk away from it, guys. I know y'all been like, this guy's a little crazy. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All right. Mm. The two head coaches, I just broke that down to y'all. These two head coaches are 50-50s. Their seat is cold. Their seat is cold. They're about to be up out of here, guys. 18 teams did not make the postseason. So the next 7 months, they're gonna have all season to step up their franchises. Okay, they're gonna be coaches situations, um, free agents, all kind of stuff that we can get to. The Cards, they're gonna try and get rid of Kyler Murray, of course. Look, let's see, part ways, or will the Cardinals try to run it back for another season? He got to be available and he got to be healthy. Honestly, head coach Jonathan Gannon has said more than once that his all-season evaluation will include deeper dive in Arizona handle, health, and wellness injuries decimated the Cardinals roster on both sides of the ball, preventing them from putting a suitable enough roster on the field. Yep. Um, Janet Thompson at safety. The Cardinals need a lot of help. The best player available. Murray ends up elsewhere by April. Quarterback. They need a wrong offensive line. Miami's Francisco Manini and Utah Spencer. Some blockers. Okay. Atlanta. Okay, they first round draft pick is traded to the Rams, so they don't. And Penix has tore his ACL. Cousins, well, we gotta see how that's going. They fired the coach. They gotta re-sign Kyle Pitts. Um, they have Drake London. They need some corners. Okay, looking at cornerbacks. So okay, now Ravens. All right, reduced quarterback Lamar salary cap number. Um, Second priority to watch is impact edge rusher, of course. Kyle Vick, another unrestricted free agent. Signed it. John Harbaugh signed an extension last offseason, keeps him under contract through 2028. But this disappointing season has led Harbaugh being booed while walking off the field at home game and questioning his job security. Not trying to keep a job. Harbaugh is it toward the end of the season. Okay. Tyler Linderbaum, whether they were signed. Tricky one. Decline Linderbaum 50-year option, the same reason the franchise tag likely isn't possible. Missouri and Derek Moore, two edge rushers. Okay. Cincinnati. Need a pass rusher. Young pass rushers. Geno Stone, yep. He picked off Drake for pick 6. Yep. Of course they're not. I don't think they're gonna re-sign Trey Hendrickson. I could see him getting someplace else, guys. Just say. Uh okay, they could be looking for edge rushers in the draft. The Browns, oh goodness. This is oh boy. He is pretty much about to be gone. Now they got Njoku and Harold Fanning. They could be looking for offensive tackles, a right guard, or they could be going Carnell Tate. Impact starting receivers. They need something. I don't know what's going on with Jared Judy up there. That's just kind of crazy what's going on. The Cowboys, they got the number 12 overall pick. Okay. Secondary is the problem. They just got rid of Diggs. He looked good in the Green Bay uniform today playing. All right. So now let's see. Their early draft looks is going to be Texas Tech, David Beatty, best pass rusher. And they got out for secondary. So they're looking for defense. Lions, an edge rusher. Resign Alex Anzalone. They're looking at a cornerback, linebacker. Especially when CE, man, they're gonna need it. They look like they're going most defenses now, guys. I'm just saying. Okay, then the Colts with Daniel Jones, he'll be back. He's gonna be back. Now early draft picks won't be on the clock until Friday night. What happens? They find impact and defense, so they're definitely probably doing that. The Chiefs, oh boy, they got to get somebody to go with them. Karlaftis and Chris Jones. And tight end Travis Kelce return. Maybe he does. Resign cornerback Jalen Watson. Now they could be going for a right tackle and with Kelsey uncertain and drafting a tight end like Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt could be one. I mean, hell, the Chiefs will cut Taylor, which could save them $20 million and on top of the cap. So I mean, yeah. And there goes the Raiders. Geno Smith figuring out a plan at the quarterback. Geno is still under contract, and the dead cap is 18.5. In 2026, the team decides to move on from him. Whether or not Smith remains in Vegas, the Raiders will examine the future of the quarterback position since they will have the number one pick. Now, Raiders' inability to run or pass the ball was a lack of support from the offensive line. And I've been telling Raiders Nation that y'all need to build your lineup. Pete Carroll said he would love to return after the worst season of his head coaching career and admitted that a rebuild is necessary for the franchise based on his conversation with ownership. And Pete, that means they're not coming. You're not coming back, Pete. You're not. And so, will they sign Parham, young, reliable offensive guard? Maybe. Early draft look: Fernando Mendoza, or Oregon's Dante Reed. And so they're definitely going quarterback. I mean, I understand. Rightfully so. You better go and get you something. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy. I guess they're going to do it one more time, running back. Uh, Now, if Flores isn't hired as a head coach, he will want to bolster the secondary. Ohio State, Caleb Downs, Minka Fitzpatrick type role, either Brandon Sissy, South Carolina, or Colton Hood from Tennessee. So they're looking at defense, all right? And especially if Brian's still there. Now, Miami, Tua benched. And let's see, what else? Tyreek Hill contract. He's missed most of the season. Dislocated knee. Um, Mike McDaniels has declined to comment on his job security, but right. Will they resign Rasul Douglas again? Early draft look. They are looking at a cornerback. Tennessee's Gerard McCoy. Now the Saints. Who that's? They got to make a decision on these vets. They got 37-year-old Demario Davis, 37-year-old Cam Jordan, 35-year-old Taysom Hill. They're getting older. They're getting older, guys. And whether they will resign him or not, I can't see them not resigning Cam Jordan. However, getting older. And let's see. The Saints' best available approach in the first round with a top 15 pick could add another wide receiver, either a Cardinal Tate or a Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, would provide the team with a true go-to alongside Olave. Definitely need to get you some weapons. The Giants as well. You know what? Joe Schoen has spared attention on Dayball and the Giants candidate, so they're looking. Now we're gonna see who they get. Now let's see. There is emerge as the drafting. Now they looking at some online. That's what I was saying. Like they can get a line and build their lineup. Now the Jets, they're in trouble. They got to find a quarterback. Justin Fields likely will be released, and Tyrod Taylor is a free agent, so the Jets could be starting over. The process will be two-tiered: acquire a veteran or two, and draft one. There's no surefire answer, though. Indiana's Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore are in reach. General Manager Darren Moogie will have to be creative and solve this problem. Now, Glenn's job is secure. From all indications, he would not be going anywhere. Glenn said he's still supported by owner Woody Johnson. They were signed. Well, they were signed Brees Hall. He's the first 1,000-yard season, while the Jets could work to extend his contract. All right. The Jets sign or trade for established starter. The first round pick has to be used on a passer. Mendoza Moore will be in consideration among the top 5 picks, and taking either of them would represent a clear rebuild around rookie quarterback. The Colts' first round draft pick should also look at cornerback or safety. So I mean, hell, there you go. There you go. You got it. Oh, big prediction for the offseason. Now they're talking about trading for Kyler Murray. Mm. That might be interesting, guys. Not lying. The trade for Kyler Murray, I don't know about that. Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, the franchise all-time leading scorer, contract expires at the end of 2025, and he's undecided about playing next year. He did say after coming back from his broken collarbone, I missed the game more than I thought I would. I come back, I still have love for the game. Who knows what we'll do. All right, so Mike Evans still has a chance to come back. He feels like he'll come back. Todd Bowles, 3 division titles, but could be on the hot seat. So they got to re-sign Mike Evans and Jamal Dean. Let's see. Uh, they could add defensive talent. Looking at that, not Tennessee need. They just let me see. They're going straight. They need a head coach. Interim coach Mike McCoy is unlikely to return after taking over. Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy figuring to be a candidate given general man. So they're looking at Matt Nagy. What? The Packers could also make former Green Bay and Dallas coach Mike McCarthy a candidate. Ooh. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Resign a tight end, draft picks. They need a edge rusher. Alabama, Geno Bernard, round 2. There you go. That's perfect. Titans will make a huge splash by signing big predictions. George Pickens, their free agent. Tennessee's biggest need is talented and experienced wide receivers for Ward. Pretty much, they have nothing over there. And here we go, Washington Commanders. What are they doing? Debo, will he resign? Bobby Wagner will hit the free agency market. Oh, boy. Now, the Commanders will make a big splash by signing Rack Brees. They could bring in him and pair him with Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt and Chris Rodriguez, now that would be something different. No, that would be something different. So that, guys, is a little quick deep dive into some of the teams that's going to be looking for some off-season help. What are they doing in the off-season? Well, we'll find out when the off-season really kicks in the full swing. But oh boy, oh boy, it's going to be some shit this year. Just letting you know. It's going to be some shit. It's going to be some shit, guys. Just letting you know now. Just get ready for all the fuckery of this off season. All right, and that's gonna do it for us right there on the Blitz. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow, which is Monday, with the Monday review. I'm getting ready for Patriot Blitz too. We'll just be back tomorrow, guys. Well, later on today, we'll be back. Okay. And thank you all for coming through. I appreciate you. It's the 365 recap, Blitz recap, Sunday Fun Day edition, where, guys, we had some fun today, and it's the finale. Week 18 has finally came. It's in the rear view. We can look on it. It's done. We're on to the postseason, guys. So, salute to all the teams that have made the postseason, and sorry for those who didn't. Sorry. But congratulations, seriously, to all those teams who've made it. And man, it sucks that some people will be without a job tomorrow. But hey, this is part of the business. So with that being said, thank you, thank you. Like, follow, and sub up to the channel. Remember, let's go Pats. Stay tuned, stay clutch. We gone.